Already today's the challenge to withdraw Lao in Aegis Academy, hitting UI and shoot Swarm. We've got Aegis Academy, which is generally not all that bad, except for the part where generally we're trying to run outside when we're not about to get shot by units, so instead of meeting normal units, or in this case shield units because of shoot Swarm, we're just gonna meet a lot of Aegis units, which is generally still not all that great, but we'll just leave it at that, and then afterwards we'll just go over here, grab the demolition charge, and then we'll just breach that over there, which isn't all that complicated except for the guards that we're gonna face, which very much do not want us very alive, but we're just gonna go through here, take care of you over there, breach that over there, go over there, and then afterwards go through here, which doesn't seem all that complicated until it is, but we'll just place the demolition charge over here, and then we'll run outside to detonate it real quick, and it should be relatively simple from there on out. Except for the absolutely copious amount of units that we're gonna meet, but you know what, that's alright. We'll just go through here now, and then afterwards grab a bag of cash right over here. And then because we can, and because no units have showed up yet, we're gonna move a bag as soon as we can, which is right around now. Even though it's about to be the start of units showing up, and that's not generally all that great of a thing, but that's kind of the example. It's just not really the main assault force, but that's kind of a good thing, so we'll just drop it. We'll mess up dropping it over there, and then we'll just try our best to avoid the Aegis units that are going to be following in on us relatively soon, which is generally not a thing that we want, but hopefully it goes well. The one thing about Aegis Academy and Shoot Swarm is that they all have shields, and I don't have a CHA. I don't actually need a CHA, and I ideally don't want a CHA if I'm bringing a thumper because, well, I do need to shoot relatively fast, so we're just gonna go over here. I'm gonna grab that S97 because there's not really much else to do. And then we're just gonna try our best to make it back inside without getting shot, because that's kind of what we want, because I just wanted some ammunition, which is a relatively simple concept. And I also, at this point, want a bit of shotgun ammunition, which might take a bit more time, but the Aegis unit is not an example of one of them, but we'll just actually grab this shotgun over here. Grab this S97 over here. Back off real quick because of whatever's going on over there. Clear the units over there, and then afterwards, well, at this point, well, because we could do all of that, which is an absolutely unnecessary amount of ammunition, but then again, it's withdrawal, there can always be more. As for you over there, though, I will clear that. And we'll just awkwardly wait over here. Generally, the shotgun units are quite nice since they've got a lot of pellets and they work decently well with shields, but right now I'm taking a lot more damage than I would ideally like. I'm gonna have to swap out a few over there so that I can actually grab a few medkits so that I can well stay alive, which seems like a relatively important concept, so we'll just leave it at that. We'll heal up real quick, we'll move that over there, and then afterwards we'll grab some cash and then move back up over there. And I suppose whenever Cyber's ready to move, we're just going to... Not exactly what I had in mind in terms of either taking damage or meeting units, but we'll just... I don't think we've even done our first wave, but you know what, sure, that's not really a bad thing since it just means more opportunity for moving right around now later on, which... Not really a great time, but we can still heal up. And we're just gonna go through here now, where it's relatively free, and we'll just move one more bag, and things should be... Things do not seem relatively simple from there on out, but you know what, that's alright, we could just go over here. We can heal up yet again. And then we can move really quickly. And then just avoid the Aegis units from showing up, or at least avoid the Aegis units when they show up. And then we'll go down through here, make it out in generally one wave, and then have an absolutely terrible amount of medkits because I have absolutely none right now. And I would quite like at least one, which... We're just gonna see how many Cyber takes, and we'll leave it at that since there's not really another way of defining it, so we'll just leave it at that, and well, it's gonna be relatively simple. Seemingly Cyber has taken both medkits, so we'll just let him have it. I mean, I find it highly unlikely that they'd have one either, so... Or at least one remaining from beforehand, so right now it would mean that they've got 2 medkits. Going up from 0 medkits. Not generally great for not dying, but you know what, that's alright. We'll clear all of you over there, because I do want this S97 ammunition. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that now, since I'm actually not doing all that great in terms of health, but whenever you show up, if you could just not be a problem anymore, that would be absolutely fantastic. But we could always just spam, let's just say, 100 or so S97 bullets in a certain direction, and it'll go relatively fine. Not saying that it's the right way of doing things, but it could certainly work out relatively alright, in the sense that it won't lead to absolutely terrible death, but I suppose Cyber's gonna post up over there for some reason, which we're not gonna question nor note, but we're gonna swap up for the shotgun real quick right around now, just so that we could very, very unusually watch that corner. And then do that. And that's really the only appealing reason for that. So we're just gonna drop that shotgun over there now, because we don't really want that right now. And we're just going to just throw bullets at it as a solution. Now, quite unfortunately, I did take a bit of health, or take a bit of damage for that matter. And then afterwards, that's not really... Just gonna step over there to avoid getting flashbang. But hopefully Cyber's got an extra one, because otherwise we're gonna be in for a relatively bad time. So we're just gonna leave it at that over there, and well, we'll just slowly move up over here. And then awkwardly post up over here, which... So it turns out Cyber's getting a medkit, but Cyber's also posting up over there, which... you know, would be relatively important. So if you could just all stop for a bit, and if you could just post up over there, that would be absolutely fantastic. Because I'm not really here to... I'm not really particularly fond of actually dealing with the units right now. Because it might very well end really, really badly, and that's not really what we're looking for. So we're just gonna real quick reload, and then just wait over here awkwardly to be ready to swap out Cyber whenever it's needed, because we are all out of medkits right now. And we all do not want to take any damage. And at this time, Cyber's being more methodical than I would be, so we're just gonna leave it at that, and... hi there. And then awkwardly wait an extremely long amount of time for Sparrow to actually show up, which we're still waiting on. And we seemingly have no extra word on, which I don't really like, but that's a lot of people, and we're just gonna back off for now. I mean, there's a shotgun, and that's that fixed. Right then, we could always grab the shotgun, go out over here, grab the ammunition, and then afterwards get back over here inside over here, which seems relatively simple. And I guess I could always try wallbanging. It's not that we've got a lot of ammunition, but actually we could drop Cyber some ammunition, which... never mind then, let's grab the shotgun and not the SI-7, and then we're just gonna go through here. We're gonna go through here. Thankfully, not get absolutely terribly wallbanged over there, or actually, for that matter, experience friendly fire of absolutely terrible proportions, but we'll just go over here. We'll go over here, we'll connect the hook over here. And then we'll get out of here before the shield unit actually shows up right in front of me. But regardless, that's the daily challenge done in just under 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And I mean, between the two of us, one's dead and the other one almost is dead, with 0 medkits between us. So I don't think that went really, really well. But regardless, cheers everyone, have a great time.